awardees, ladies and gentlemen, let us thank God for taking this organization beyond 70. It is good reason that should and must underpin the next 75 years journey. Youth is a delicate product, and most meaningful and sustainable interventions will occur only over the long run. Can you believe, ladies and gentlemen, that approximately 1.4 million Jamaicans have been part of this movement in one way or another since its inception, serving as volunteers, staff, and clubite? Most of our nation's agriculturalists, and may I add myself, got our start right here in the 4-H clubs. A trend, ladies and gentlemen, which continues today. It is very difficult to find a student, Dr. Deslandes, at case in the agricultural program who is not or was not a 4-H member. The impact of the Jamaica 4-H clubs, Chairman, is best exemplified, and I think many other speakers have said it, by this sharp reduction in the average age of the Jamaican farmer, which now stands at 48.8 years. And may I say, it's among the lowest in the world. We all owe a debt of gratitude, ladies and gentlemen, to the thousands of hard-working volunteers, and especially our teachers, and we can't overemphasize that. The cadre minister of new farmers that the 4-H club is presently adding to the sector is not only more educated, with a greater appetite for technology, but they are there to add to the greater levels of productivity as well as higher levels of production. Our 94,030 clubites in our 1,110 clubs is one of the key performance targets that rest in the hands of our volunteers. And their contribution to the 4-H clubs is valued in excess of $200 million annually. And that is when we put a monetary value to the voluntary contribution of our over 3,000 leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4-H continues to develop new programs to attract and retain our youth. Some of the new and improved initiatives over the last 3 years include our online training institute. Using the Moodle platform, we are now able to train youth in various vocational areas. Our Youth in Farming program, this is an intervention over the last 2 years that aims directly at transitioning our young people into farming. Our Youth Entrepreneurship program, and that has been heralded, but I want to add that the REAP program, and I saw Chairman of the NYS and an outstanding 4-H'er, Maureen Weber. The NYS came on board and they have, in fact, committed $45 million over the last 3 years, for the next 3 years. But they are serious people, so they don't only give a commitment, but they have, in fact, invested the first $15 million in this project. And I must say to you, ladies and gentlemen, in early December, the REAP program will roll out with matching funds from the Development Bank of Jamaica, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, and we will be impacting a number of young people who we will, again, transition into agriculture and other vocational areas. Another of our flagship initiative is our agriculture technology program. And I recognize our friends from Japan, because our first partnership here was with JICA, And they hosted an international conference on Tokagura composting. And they brought in the expert from Japan, and we were able to train members from the Ministry of Agriculture, RADA, CARDI, JS Case, and also representatives from Caribbean as well as Latin American countries. This is a game-changing intervention because in Tokagura composting, you're able to break down organic compost that would normally take anywhere between 6 weeks to 3 months. You're now able to do that in just a few weeks. We want to say thanks to the people and government of Japan. I also want to make special mention of the National Council on Science and Technology, because under MOU we have agreed to in fact transition some 1,000 of our 4-H members into the nutraceutical industry. And I'm proud to say a couple of weeks ago we have trained the first 31 young nutraceutical farmers. And I must say to you, this is not no jokey thing, because each of those youngsters will be empowered with 1 acre of ginger, and the work has begun in terms of helping them to become ginger farmers. I want to reach out to my mentor, Mr. Leonard Fulton, who has also partnered with us in order to transition a number of our 4-H youngsters into the Irish potato program. And he has given significant commitment to this end. I really want to ask you to put your hands together for Leonard Fulton. Our youth in agriculture education, again, another deliberate intervention to encourage and support youth in agriculture education. Thanks to Rio Tinto, and not see my friend Milverton Reynolds from the Development Bank of Jamaica, to Chris Blackwell, and others who have contributed significantly. In fact, Mr. Blackwell has in fact invested over $60 million to provide scholarship for 4-H clubites over the last 5 years. 4-Hers and friends, we have embarked on the strengthening of some critical relationships. And while we do that, we are mindful of the center place of Case, Ebony Park, Nakalva, and our technical schools. And I just want to pause to ask you to permit me to recognize Dr. Grace McLean, Chief Education Officer from the Ministry of Education. And also the Ministry of Education for the new initiatives in vocational education, and also for reaching out to the 4-H Club as a strategic partner to this end. The ministry's commitment, Dr. McLean, to ensure the existence of 4-H clubs and school gardening public schools is undoubtedly one of the most impactful contributions to the 4-H clubs in the last decade. I want to hail you, ma'am. Also, our local and international partners, corporate sponsors, those who are here and those who could not make it, your continuation represents the fuel that will take us to the next milestones. We are cognizant that the next 75 years is just a strategic plan away, and we must use the opportunity to plan well. Chairman, guest speaker, colleague staff, ladies and gentlemen, let's hope that this occasion will be etched into the hearts of us all for a long time.